Now, I know that many of us want and need Christmas with our families. We feel after this year we deserve it.
Up to 3 households will be able to mix indoors between the 23rd and the 27th of December. It follows government talks tonight.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. But you are right. It is important that we don't let things go too loose over Christmas.
Hey, good evening and welcome to part 3 of Christmas Unlocked. Have you ever been given a gift that was, well, it was so bad, it just wasn't what you wanted, it was awful, but maybe like me, especially if you're British, you faked your response to the gift? I mean, I'm an absolute expert at this. You ask anybody. But the problem is, Krista, my wife, she comes from Amsterdam, and being Dutch, that also means that she's more, she's more truthful, let's say, more direct. So during our first Christmas family opening of gifts, she was opening the gifts and we all noticed that she was using the same response to every gift. And you could tell sometimes she didn't really know what the gift was or how to be appreciative of it. So she gave the same answer. Oh, that's sweet. And that's kind of become a joke in our family amongst us all. So I had to take her aside and I had to educate her on the finer aspects of faking it at Christmas, of Christmas acting lessons. So when you open a gift, no matter what it is, whether you wanted it or you don't even understand what it is, you look at it and you go, oh, amazing. Well, I'm going to go one step further this evening. And here's some more little tips for all of you out there who will get a gift this Christmas that is a massive disappointment. It's not what you wanted, from the great actor Benedict Cumberbatch.
Present number 1. Love the wrapping paper. It's so sparkly. I'm going to save it for wrapping up next year's presents. It's so noisy too. I love the noise it makes. A book. I love books. Microwave recipes for 1. It's just very pragmatic. I need this because I keep on accidentally making microwave recipes for 2. This is the perfect gift. Thank you so much. I don't like wasting food because we're running low on resources as a planet. So this is incredibly useful. And I don't have much time in my life for cooking. I love cooking, but I wish I had more time. So maybe this will teach me how to enjoy that fact by using a microwave. And if the food looks half as good as it does in this cover, it's great. Now, what I did there was took the title and attacked it with positives. Microwave. I hate microwave food. It's just disgusting. It takes all the taste out, often the goodness. Recipes. Nothing wrong with recipes. For 1. I mean, come on. What are you saying? That I'm going to be on my own all my life, so I'm going to have to use a recipe for 1 person? You know, so just turn that into, no, that's very useful. Anyway, you saw what I did. I should have looked at the price. $4.99. That's so generous. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have. Okay, this is present number 2. I'm very excited. Ooh, it feels so soft. Oh no, really? Because I can't get enough of socks. These are so useful, and you know this is my favourite colour, and I've worn through the ones you gave me 2 years ago. So this is the perfect replacement gift. Thank you so much. How did you know? That's so sweet. The wardrobe fairy's been telling you things. So I overdid it there, but I actually do like socks, so that's probably why. There was probably some genuine enthusiasm there. Always turn it into enthusiasm by, pretending you're really small. I like it really much. It's so great. So then it's as if the gift dwarfs your sense of self. So the gift becomes enormous in its gratitude and thoughtfulness and brilliance. Just being really critical about my first effort at the masterclass in this session, I think I overdid it somewhat. So I'm going to try just for a more subtle approach here. God, I shouldn't have. This is huge. It's so heavy. Wow. It's really hard. I love presents that are hard to unwrap because it just makes it more satisfying when you eventually do. You do like your sellotape, don't you? I do too. I love sellotape. It's so much fun. It sort of sticks things together. Oh my goodness. It's developing Excel number 5 solutions. This is amazing. Navigating through the Wellington Cycle Works application. I'm always getting stumped on that. It's brilliant, and it's not a present that anyone else would have thought of but you. I really, oh, good, look at it. Here, idiot proof. it comes with its own floppy disk. This is fantastic. So good. Look, here's a really easy, I love it. Well, you know it because you gave it to me. It's really brilliant. Thank you. Now, really, why I think of this is that it's, good for door stopping, possibly recycling, or hitting someone with. It's also absolutely obsolete. It's an outdated mode of anything. You're probably all too young to realise this, but this is called a floppy disk. I'm too affected by what I did.
So here's a question. When the news came to planet Earth that the greatest gift in the history of the world was going to be delivered, the news came through, by the way, a guy called Isaiah 700 years before the first Christmas day. How do you think they responded? Well, here's the announcement. Here's the announcement. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. How do you think they responded? Was there cheers? Was the people going like, yeah, fantastic? No, this is what happened.
Are you not thankful? Uncle Tim put a lot of work into that. What is it? Here, take it out of the handle. Take it out of the strap. But Uncle Tim thought you might like it. What is it? It's for cleaning toilets. You can clean your... Now you can clean your very own bathroom.
So here's the amazing thing. People who first heard these words responded kind of like that. Or you might say the same way people respond today. Okay, for unto us a child. Yes, so what? So what? I mean, how does that help me in 2020 with my life and my family and my job? How does it relate to me? And, although they were in the same place many are in today, these people, maybe you are today in despair or facing disappointment the way things have turned out in the last year. Or maybe you feel like you're in a constant battle or under continual pressure and fear. And maybe, like those people from years ago, you're trying to fill the void that God has left, even with good things, even with religion and good works. You see, those people, maybe like us, they didn't understand that the vaccine to their hopelessness and pain was in these words. And they rejected the vaccine. They rejected these words. For you and me a child is born, for you a son is given, and this is what he will be like. Here's the description, and we looked at this last time, the first one. Wonderful Counselor. Wonderful Counselor, when you simply don't know what to do, when you're in a situation where you simply can't work your way out of it. So one of the greatest gifts you could receive this Christmas is your very own personal counselor, wonderful personal counselor. If you let him, he will advise you, he will lead you, and he will give you what you need to know to get through life and thrive in your life. But the second question probably is this. Okay, now I know that. Now I'm putting that into practice and receiving that gift. How do I do that? How do I find the power and the strength to change this situation that I'm in? That brings us to the second name, or the second characteristic of this God-child, Mighty God. Mighty God, when you just can't fix the problem. I remember I said in week number 1, in the first week, that the Hebrew words for mighty God, they're El Gibor. El from El Shaddai, or Elohim, meaning mighty, and Gibor, meaning mighty one. So the literal translation here, if you like, is mighty, mighty one. Mighty, mighty one. And you might ask, well, why the emphasis on mighty, mighty? Remember, Isaiah was speaking to people so much like you and like me, that when they got into a situation or a bad circumstance, they thought they could fix everything themselves. Soon as they got into a bad place, they started playing God themselves. Hey, we can work it out. We're all powerful. Thank you very much. We don't need any child. What a son for us. We don't get it. But here's the deal. Christmas celebrates the God who is the mighty, mighty one, who is able and willing to come to you and to me and to help. And nothing illustrates this more than the life of this child. This child, as you know, came in the form of Jesus Christ, and he was born in a manger. He was born to a virgin. But the story doesn't end in the manger. This child grew, and when he grew up, Satan threw everything at Jesus. He threw disease at Jesus, and he said, "By my stripes you are healed." He threw temptation. Jesus said, "Not my will, but my Father's will be done." He threw fame. He said, "You will worship God alone." He threw the demon possessed at him, and he said, "Get out." He threw the depressed and the hopeless, and Jesus said, "You are whole people." He threw hatred. Jesus just responded with, "Father, forgive them." He threw that messed up religion at him, and he said, no, I will build my church and the gates of hell. He threw political muscle. Jesus said, "The government is upon my shoulder." He threw false accusations. And Jesus said, "Yeah, you'll see on the third day." He threw storms, and Jesus said, "Peace, be still." Satan even threw death itself, and Jesus said, "Lazarus, come forth." We serve a mighty God, friends. I don't know how to get that across you today through this screen, but we serve a mighty God. He beat all of them. He beat Satan, hell, death, and all of its power. Jesus is all powerful. That means whatever Satan may have, Jesus has more. That means whatever Satan has done to you, Jesus can fix it. He can mend it today. So please, don't go and assassinate my Jesus by making him something less than he already is. Don't tune out today with some little Jesus who does little stuff. He isn't just the little Jesus, meek and mild, away in a manger. That's not the Jesus I serve today, and that's not the Jesus you need in your life today. So don't let Christmas trick you. Don't let it trick you, because if you allow Christmas time and what we've made Christmas time, it can trick you into thinking little baby Jesus is cute, little baby Jesus is harmless and gentle. No, his name is the mighty, mighty one. Don't make him anything less than that today. Sorry, I'm on a rant, and I know. Okay, Paul, he's saying, but how can he fix this in my life, this thing that's going on? And here we go again, like I said last time. There's some assembly required. Sometimes we receive gifts and it comes flat packed, and there's something we have to do as well to engage with the gift, and that's the same with this gift that I'm unpacking for you today. And there are 3 simple instructions for you to realize that God is the mighty, mighty God. And the first one is this. Here's the first simple unpacking instruction. Realize that you're not God. Realize that you're not God. Now, I used to run a course for people who had issues in their lives. It was called Celebrate Recovery. I ran it in South Africa for many years. And this was always the first step to recovery from 3 things we all have in our lives: hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Now, you're watching this today and you'll have at least one of these things in your life: a hurt, a habit, or a hang-up. And we used to say the first step to beating a hurt, a habit, or a hang-up, the first step is to realize I'm not God and I'm powerless to control my tendency to do the wrong thing, and my life is unmanageable. I'm going to read that again because this might strike a chord right now. Realize that you're not God, and that you're powerless to control your tendency to do the wrong thing, and your life is unmanageable. Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. Happy are those who realize they are spiritually poor and know they don't have the power to make changes that God wants to make in their lives. Realize, underline that word if you've got a paper Bible today. Realize, recognize, to know, to fully appreciate and understand your need of help. During Jesus' time on earth, one of his team got this more than most. His name was Peter. and he was always kind of like, he had issues and things were going on in his life, but he later wrote a letter that gave us 2 important instructions. I'm going to share those with you right now. Humble yourselves, he said, 1 Peter 5 verses 6 and 7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5. So the second point is humble yourself. Humble yourself. And there's that theme again. I shared that last time. Humble yourself. Admit. Confess it. You haven't got it all together like you pretend in front of people. You just haven't. You're not as spiritual as they think you are. You're not as committed as they think you are at all. And do you know what? Only when you do that, God says his mighty hand will lift you up in due time. When the timing is right, God will intervene and God will do it. But the first thing is that kind of admitting that, like, my life is not all together. It's not what people see. It's not my Facebook post. It's not what they see on Instagram. My life is not like that. The first step is admitting that. And then number 3, cast all your anxiety on the mighty, mighty one. Cast all your anxiety or all your cares on him. And this last instruction, you need to tell him about that problem. And I would advise you today, if you've got an issue or problem in your life, don't just pray it. Oh, that's good, but don't just pray it. The Bible says we should cast it. We should throw it. If you're from Liverpool, you'd say chuck it or bung it, or whatever word you want to use. But it's a very aggressive thing. You're throwing it. You're casting it on to him. Why? Well, the answer is in the reason for Christmas. It's the reason Jesus came in the first place. And with all your issues and challenges, why? Because he cares for you, my friend. Because he cares for you. Because he loves you. Because, like we saw last time, he knows everything about you. He knows the thoughts in your mind and the things of your heart. He knows everything about everything. And he loves you unconditionally. And he cares for you. And don't miss this gift this Christmas. Don't miss it. Allow him to be your mighty God. Stop playing God. Humble yourself and realize you need his help in your life, and take all those things that have burdened you in 2020 and cast them on him and on his shoulders, because he is the mighty, mighty God, and he cares for you. Don't be half-hearted about the most precious gift you've ever been given this year. You don't have to fake your response. Don't act as if you're pleased and excited when you're not. Friend, receive it, enjoy it, and have a wonder-filled Christmas. For unto you today a God-child is born, and unto you a son is given. Enjoy it, receive it, and be truly excited about it this Christmas time. God bless you.